Chapter 1787 Who Did It? After listening to Gao Changkong's words, Emperor Shutian lowered his eyes and thought for a moment, then stared at him and said, "You seem to have something else to say, right?" Gao Changkong smiled and said, "That's not the case, but I think no one can take things away silently on the way we came." Unfortunately, his reincarnation deduction ability can only predict the future, but not go back to the past. Otherwise, he can use his ability to see what happened. Emperor Shutian smiled. "Garuda, in front of me. Just say whatever you want to say." Gao Changkong faced the eyes of the crowd, showed a deep smile, and said, "I don't know if you have forgotten that for a while. Our attention was not completely focused on the box." Wei Wuxian listened to Gao Changkong's words and thought. Suddenly, he raised his head and said, "You mean, after we arrived in Samran City? Since the battle with the mechanical army, everyone's spirits have been tense. But when they arrived in Samran City, they subconsciously relaxed a little. After all, the risk of being attacked should be eliminated in the human camp. At that time, the aliens from Fremons came to receive them again, and everyone's attention was focused on the aliens led by Bodaka. Only at that time, their attention to the box decreased." Gao Changkong coughed lightly. "This is just my guess. If the box was moved at any time along the way, it is very likely when we arrive in the city. Moreover," he looked at Emperor Shutian, "the people of Fremons are very interested in the things in the box, aren't they?" There was an uproar at the scene, and everyone's eyes showed either shock or anger. Because Gao Changkong's analysis is indeed very reasonable. In Samran City, it is the territory of Fremons. And here are the strong men of the entire Fremons, among whom there may be aliens with special abilities who can steal the energy core without them noticing. This is completely possible. Was it done by the Fremons? This can't be. We came here to help them. If they really did this, wouldn't it be too much? That's hard to say. The style of the Fremons people doing things cannot be inferred by common sense. Everyone whispered, and then secretly looked at Emperor Shutian's face. There was no expression on Emperor Shutian's face. As a superior, he was better at hiding his true feelings. But Gao Changkong's words did make him deeply suspicious. Because this is indeed a very high possibility. But do the Fremons people really dare to steal the spoils of the reinforcements at this time? Garuda, your suggestion is very interesting. In addition to this possibility, do you have any other ideas? Emperor Shutian asked. Gao Changkong shook his head. Other possibilities are beyond my comprehension. For example, the mechanical civilization used some special and powerful ability to steal the things. However, I have never heard that the energy core captured by Fremons and Chaos was lost. When he heard the name of Chaos, Emperor Shutian couldn't help but frown. Now, in Fremons, in addition to the Fremons troops, there is also the Chaos team. Could this matter be related to him? Gao Changkong had some doubts in his heart. After all, with Zhang Yi's character, it would not be surprising if he did anything. However, he didn't need to be so dedicated to Barada. Anyway, even if this energy core fell into Emperor Shutian's hands, the final benefit would have nothing to do with him. There was no need to offend Zhang Yi for this. But he still kindly suggested, "We can check the distance between the Chaos team and us at that time. If they were nearby, they would indeed be suspected of committing a crime." Emperor Shutian thought for a long time. He asked the others to withdraw first, and sat alone in the living room, holding his chin with both hands and thinking. After a long time, he stood up and decided to find Badaja to make things clear. The most troublesome point is that he has no idea when the things were lost, and there is no clue. Then, he can only put the matter out in the open. After all, they came to help Fremons fight the enemy, and Fremons must take their affairs seriously, otherwise it will be confirmed that they are criminals. So Emperor Shutian went directly to Badaja and told him directly about the theft of the energy core. Badaja heard about this, and his eyes widened.
What?
How could such a thing happen? He was shocked, but he was suspicious in his heart. The strength of Barada's alien army is very strong, and it can fight an entire mechanical army alone. It is almost impossible to steal a valuable thing silently under their noses. So Badaja couldn't help but wonder if Emperor Shirtian was unwilling to take out the energy core and study it with them. So he found such an excuse to get rid of Fremon's entanglement. Badaka looked at Indra with a smile and said in a sincere tone, "Such a thing actually happened in Fremon's. It is simply intolerable. I really don't know who is able to steal the energy core under the noses of the 8 tribes of Bharata, who are famous all over the world. If there really is such a person, he must be an extraordinary existence." Emperor Shirtian is not a fool. He immediately realized that Budagia was also suspicious of him. He snorted coldly, staring at Budagia with burning eyes, and his suspicion in his heart became heavier. Could it be that the Fremon's people are really crying thief? Fremon's is now a place where major powers and organizations in the world gather. There are many hidden dragons and crouching tigers here, and there are countless people with powerful abilities. Even if I am Bharata, I can't guarantee that I will not be affected by others. Mr. Budagia, we are here to support you. Now that there is a problem, you won't just leave it alone, right? The two people suspected each other, and their eyes were full of deep meaning, but it was not good to tear each other apart at this time. Bodaka said, "Of course, we will investigate this matter seriously. We will give you a satisfactory explanation." Emperor Shirtian said, "The other party did a pretty good job in this matter, leaving almost no trace. But I can be sure that it must be done by a high-level space alien. So, I want to ask you to do me a favor." Bodaka asked, "What favor?" Emperor Shirtian said, "I want to know the movement trajectory of the Chaos team after we came to Fremon's and before we arrived at Samran City." Bodaka's eyes flashed with a strange color. "Are you suspecting that Chaos stole your energy core?" Emperor Shirtian nodded. "As the world's top space ability user, I have enough reason to suspect them. Whether they did it, you only need to retrieve their route of action to make a judgment. This should not be difficult for you." This is indeed not a difficult thing. Bodaka was also thinking in his heart. Was it the alien of Bharata who was crying thief, or was it really stolen by the Chaos people? But the closest one is less than 5 meters. It is very likely that there is an alien with the ability of space replacement in the welcoming troops who did it. The more Emperor Shirtian thought about it, the angrier he became. He stared at Bodaka, and his tone became cold. "Mr. Bodaka, no matter what, the things were lost here. I hope you can give me a reasonable explanation. Don't let those of us who came all the way to help feel disappointed." Bodaka was stunned for a moment, and then he was angry. "You are so stingy that you don't want to take out the things for everyone to study together, and you are still relying on us here? Fremon's only has one energy core in his hand. Why do you want us to transfer it to you? We will do our best to investigate this matter. However, I also hope that His Excellency Emperor Shirtian will go back and think about it carefully. Is it possible that there is a problem within you?" He spread his hands. "After all, if there really is an alien who can make you unable to detect and even leaves no trace after stealing the energy core, then it will probably be difficult for us Fremons to deal with him." Bodaka's words were full of sarcasm. "I mean, you're obviously acting. Why are you pretending to me? Who would believe that the world-famous prophet, the bishop-level strongman, would be fooled by others?" Not long ago, they sent engineering troops to recover the mechanical life form, but in the end they got nothing. That matter was all attributed to Bharata, who thought he was fooled by them, and he is still angry about it. The two stared at each other, with strong suspicion in their eyes, and undercurrents surged. Everyone thought that the other party did it. Emperor Shirtian raised the corner of his mouth, revealing his white teeth. Okay. We will also conduct an internal investigation on this matter. No matter who dares to steal our spoils, once I find them, it will never end so easily." After Emperor Shirtian finished speaking, he waved his sleeves and left. He was very angry and vowed to find the person who stole the energy core. At this time, his subordinates came to report and told Bodaka that the chaos of Huashu Kingdom had also arrived in Samran City. Bodaka narrowed his eyes slightly. His impression of Zhang Yi was not good, but it was not bad either. Children only distinguish between good and bad, while adults distinguish between friends and enemies based on interests. So even though Zhang Yi had rejected his face before, the arrival of such a powerful alien would be a great help to Fremons, so Bodaka still put on a smile and went to greet him in person.